achievement motivation theory supports the idea that actions are driven by the motivation to meet or exceed a certain standard of excellence. This standard of excellence is perceived by the individual or society as a whole. When we consider it from what they say there, a macro perspective, okay, if we go to the sort of the sports psychology textbooks, and that means in a large way, an overall perspective. It's about the need to achieve or meet a certain standard of excellence, and is thought to have derived from the first years of a child's life, as a result of the way parents expect or reward independent action in their children. Therefore, we can say achievement motivation as a personality characteristic is not necessarily the same. For children, for example, who were greatly rewarded for independence, achievement motivation factors more highly in their cognitive processes, their thinking processes, okay? While on the opposite side of things, children who are neglected do not have a history of feeling pride then in meeting a certain standard of excellence. McClelland and Atkinson believe that when children are properly motivated, the emotional arousal that occurs within the unconscious becomes stronger when a child is challenged with a possibility of success. Okay? So in basic terms, if you praise a child for doing something correctly, they're more likely to develop that feeling of achievement motivation. Let's take a look at personality factors then. Now, each of us has two underlying achievement motives. The need to achieve success. You often see this as in shorthand as a capital N and ACH, NACH then if you want to say that, okay? NACH. And this really is the capacity to experience pride in accomplishment, okay? If we do something well, we know we've done something well and we're happy with ourselves for doing it and we feel a sense of pride. I'm sure we've all done that. Whether it's scoring a goal, making a great tackle, or playing a great ball through for somebody else to score the goal. There's also the need to avoid failure. And this is the capacity to experience shame in failure. And again, I'm sure we've all felt it sometimes where we've done something and we haven't quite reached the level that we wanted to, okay? Need achievement theory really contends that behaviour is influenced by the balance of these motives. It goes back and forth, okay? It's not really clean cut there. There is a balance to consider. If we look at situational factors, well, a performer, a player, an athlete, they'll assess the situation they're faced with and they'll evaluate it. Now, I'm sure you've all done this. Saturday afternoon or Saturday morning, you're playing a team, you've not played them before. Maybe when you're younger, you look at those guys getting off the bus and you think, oh, that centre-half looks big. The goalkeeper's massive. That centre-forward looks strong. Are they going to beat us? I'm a little bit worried about this. What we do in there, we're looking at our opposition and we're evaluating our perceived level of success, okay? The probability of success, the probability we feel we have of winning. Also, we look at the incentive value of the success. What's in it for us if we do well? Resultant tendencies then, what does this mean? High achievers tend to seek out challenges. They enjoy competing against others of equal ability or performing tasks that are not too easy or too difficult. On the other hand, low achievers, well, they tend to avoid challenges and they also tend to opt for tasks which are either too hard or too easy. They don't really fear failure, but they fear the negative evaluation associated with it. That's important to remember. If we look at emotional reactions, we could say, for example, this is how much pride or shame that individual experiences, how much of this they feel. A high achiever, well, they tend to focus more on pride. They take a positive outlook. A low achiever, they'll tend to focus more on the shame and the worry, the potential shame and worry they could experience. They focus on the negatives. What could go wrong? What could happen? You can see there's almost polar opposites, aren't they? Achievement-related behaviours. So, we've talked about them. How will the four other components interact then to influence behaviour? As we've said, high achievers will select more challenging tasks. They prefer intermediate level risks and perform better in evaluative situations. Situations where they need to think things through and work something out perhaps. Well, a low achiever, on the other hand, they'll avoid intermediate risk. They perform worse in evaluative situations And they do tend to, as I say, avoid challenging tasks by selecting tasks that are not so difficult, that they are certain to fail, or tasks so easy that they are guaranteed success. They kind of take the middle ground. You can see there on the diagram on the screen a little bit of a comparison between someone who needs to achieve success and someone who, a personality which needs to avoid failure. Okay, please take a while just to have a look at that and read it for yourselves. It's time again for a quick break and a short research task. What I'd like you to do now is find out some basics about something called attribution theory. Then I'd like to think about how you can apply it to football. Take a few minutes to do that and we'll get back together soon. Okay, let's say 5 minutes.